Continuing on, for Saturday, 8/15/2026, we received a bill from Atlas Planning for some layout designs for remodeling the grooming room for $115. It's due in 15 days, and the account category is going to be other business expenses. So here we know that it's a bill, so we're not paying it, we're going to pay it later. So we're going to go to plus new, bill. Our vendor in this case is Atlas Planning. So they're not added in as a vendor yet, so we're going to go ahead and add them in, click save. Our terms are going to be net 15 because it says it's due in 15 days. The bill date in this case is going to be 8/15/2026, which notice automatically changes our due date for us. The category type is going to be other business expenses. The description is for layout designs for remodeling. Again, the description can be whatever you want it to be, just some sort of information as to what this money is going for. And the amount is $150. We are going to, in this case, click save and new, because the next bullet point we have is another bill. So we received a bill number 8858. So I'm going to go ahead and put that bill number in right here from Dollar Saver. So Dollar Saver's not in here as a vendor yet. So we're going to go ahead and click plus new, and then we're going to save. So we're saving Dollar Saver as a vendor. Category is going to be marketing. The description here is going to be weekly and the amount is $85. Checking. Oh, and it's due in 30 days, so we want to make sure our terms are net 30, again, because it's due in 30 days. So that's a total of $85. We're, in this case, going to click save and close, because the next couple transactions we have here are going to be sales receipts. So Donnie Jacobs brought in 3 small dogs, Lucky, Nancy, and Dolly, for a full pet groom and paid cash. They're paying us, so we're going to go to a sales receipt. First thing I'm going to check to see if Donnie Jacobs is in here. So Donnie Jacobs is not listed as a client, so we're going to add new. Click save, and that'll save Donnie. And then I need to add in each individual dog. In this case, I'm going to add Lucky. Again, making sure I'm going to add Lucky as a sub-client of Donnie. So Lucky's getting a full pet groom. For a small dog, we're paying with check number 77811. Undeposited funds. And that takes care of Lucky. And then we're going to repeat this 3 times. So this is the first time for Lucky. Now we need to do it again for Nancy and for Dolly. So we're going to save and new. This time, Donnie Jacobs is already listed. So we're going to add our colon, and we're going to add the second dog, Nancy. So we're paying cash. I'm not sure if I goofed that last one up. I might go back and check it to make sure I had them paying cash. Undeposited funds. want a full pet groom for a small dog again. Save and new, and then we're going to add in the last one. And receiving cash. So we have Dolly in here as a subclient of Donnie Jacobs, getting a full pet groom for this small dog, paying cash. So $40 transaction there. I'm actually going to click save and close. And I'm going to go back to make sure that I didn't mess up that first dog, Lucy. So I'm going to my invoicing here, all sales, and that'll show me everything that's been going on. That first dog, if I can get this to expand this, and I can see Lucky was the first dog. So I'm just going to click on this line right here to double check to make sure. So I was looking at the line underneath it. So I want to change this back to cash, take that reference number out of there because I did mistakenly put in the check number for John that I'm getting ready to do. So once you fix that, change that back to cash, take out that reference number, save and close that. And then you'll see nothing should really change here because the transaction's still the same. They paid, except this time they paid with cash instead of that check that I put in an error. So we're going to continue on. John Cannon brought in one extra large dog, Ruff, for a bath and brush, ears cleaned, and teeth brushed. He paid with a check. This is the check that I accidentally put in earlier. So we're going to go to sales receipt. Again, it's a sales receipt because John is paying us. Oops. So John is paying us. So we're going to put John. Oops, I spelled John's last name wrong. So John Cannon needs to be added as a client. We're going to go ahead and save him in. And then we're going to add our colon for the dog named Ruff. We're going to add new. This time we're going to details. And I want to add him in as a client or a subclient of John Cannon. Go ahead and click save. We want our payment method to be a check. Here's where we're using that reference number 77811. Still going to undeposited funds. And here we have 3 different services being added. So we need a bath and brush for an extra large dog. We need ears cleaned and teeth brushed. So all 3 of those need added for this one dog here. So I have a total for this dog of $75. I'm going to, in this case, click save and new, because up next we have Maria, who brought in her medium-sized dog Puffin for a mini groom and nail polish, paying us cash. So I'm looking for Maria. So I'm going to add Maria as a client, add my colon, and the dog's name here is Puffin. Add new, details is a subclient of Maria. Save that. Sales receipt date should still be 8/15. Our payment method in this case is cash. Cash is still going to undeposited funds. We haven't taken it to the bank yet. And we're wanting a mini pet groom for a medium-sized dog and nail polish. So that's going to take the total for that dog to $43. Make sure you have both of those on there. Paying cash, undeposited funds, $8.15. And we are going to save and new, because up next we have James, who's bringing in a dirty pup full of fleas. Sadie's going to give the little pup a bath and brush along with a flea bath. James paid cash. They're telling us not to add in a sub-client and giving us the sales receipt number that should be listed. So sales receipt number matches exactly already for us, 1035. So that matches. Our client in this case, again, we're not adding in a sub-client. We're just adding in James King this time. We're going to save him. So James is just bringing in some dog he found for a bath and brush. So it says it's a little pup, so I'm going to assume that's a small dog, and a add-on of a flea bath. Paying cash to undeposited funds. So just double checking everything. So bath and brush and a flea bath for this small dog that James King found. We're not adding that dog as a sub-client because James just found it. So sales receipt number 1035, everything matches there. And this is the last sales receipt we have. So we're going to click save and close. For the next bullet point, we're asked to make a bank deposit. So we're going to go to plus new over to the other category to the bank deposit. And we're being asked to deposit into the Los Angeles City Bank. So make sure your account up here in the left-hand corner says Los Angeles City Bank. The date should be 8/15. And we need to deposit everything from this week's sales. So this week's sales is going to be everything from the 15th all the way back to, well, Thursday the 13th is when we started this. So I'm assuming it's going to be all of these transactions. So I'm going to click this little check button up here, and we're going to check to see the total to make sure it matches what we're told in our book. So the book tells us our bank deposit should be $1,016, which is exactly what we have here when we select them all. So go ahead and click this checkbox here to make sure they're all selected, so you don't have to go through and click them all individually. So your bank deposit should be $1,016. So we're going to save and close that bank deposit. That's going to put all of that money that we have received throughout the week into our bank account. For the create a report, we're going to create a sales by client summary for the week. So we're going to go to reports. We can just type in sales by client summary. And run that report. So I just selected the dates that we were given. So we started all these transactions on Thursday, 8/13/2026. And the Saturday that we're working on right now is 8/15/2026. So I just put those dates in here for my custom dates. Click run report and you can see all of these transactions here. And down here at the bottom, you'll see that the total for the week, the total sales should be $1,236.50. So ours matches exactly, so we know we're accurate there. And then one last thing, we need to check the figures in the box to make sure they match. So we're going to go to the chart of accounts. You can get there a couple of different ways. I like going to this accounting tab into chart of accounts there. Our Los Angeles City Bank, so mine tends to be at the top always. If yours isn't, you can search for it right here. So I have $47,657.38 right here, which is exactly what the textbook says. And then for our city credit union, we should have 71184, which again matches what the book has. Check your accounts receivable and accounts payable. Right, here's our accounts payable. It is 577.66, which again matches our book. And accounts receivable, $441, again matches. So the last thing we need to do for this day is prepare some deliverables. So we need to find the sales by client summary report for the week ending today, which is exactly what we just pulled a minute ago to check that balance. So let's just go right back there. So sales by client summary, we're going to change the dates again to 8/13/2026 to 8/15/2026. We're going to run that report. Whoops. Oh. Again, this is the same value we found earlier. We're going to go ahead and export that. It tells us that we can export it as either an Excel file or a PDF. I'm going to go ahead and save it as a PDF and open it. I have to save mine a little differently, but right here. So I have a saved files on my desktop, and we're being told to save this as CH06 sales by client summary. And then the date, 8/15/26. Just like that, we're going to go ahead and save that. And I'm going to jump back over here. I'm going to close this out. The next thing we're being asked to do is find the Los Angeles City Bank report. So we're going to go to banking. And we're going to go to the bank register. And we're being asked for the bank register report. So we're going to export this. I'm actually going to see if we can, oops, not that. We'll see if there's a way to. Oh, so we are going to have to do it that way. So banking, go to our bank register, and then we're just going to have to export this. In this case, the only way we can export it is to an Excel file. I have to enable editing, and then I can do my file, save as. And we're asked to save this as CH06 LA City Bank Register and save. And close that. The last thing we need to do is the exact same thing for the City Credit Union Register. So I'm going to find my City Credit Union. I'm going to view my register, export it again. I have to open it in Excel in order to save it. Your computer might run a little bit differently, and that's okay. Again, I have to enable it, file, save as CH0, oops. Saving it as CH06 City Credit Union. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Close out of that, and that finishes up all the transactions for that first week ending in 8/15/2026.